Hello everyone, I'm here for your coding lesson and we're going to be continuing learning about ToLogo. So we'll start by sharing my screen and we'll get straight into our lesson. So to warm ourselves up for coding, can you please say out loud what each of these codes stand for? You can pause the video if you need some time and just say them all out loud. What does BK stand for? FD, RT, LT, PU and PD. When you're ready to hear the answers, you can come back and press play. Right, so if you were, now that you've had a chance to say those out loud, we should know that BK stands for backwards, FD stands for forwards, RT stands for right turn, LT stands for left turn, PU we learned last week is pen up, and PD we know is pen down. Hopefully we've become a little bit more familiar with those codes as we go along and you're getting more comfortable with using them. Now, before we get into our new learning, we're going to have another quick look at our turning, our right turns, left turns, and turning by the number of degrees. So if my arrow is pointing up to begin with, how far would it turn? Where would my arrow end up if it was right turn 90? You can pause the video here to figure it out and press play when you're ready to see. But hopefully you can figure out that if it's a right turn 90, it's turning to the right and it will end up pointing across the screen. Excellent. What about for LT 180? Can you figure out how far he turns? All right, here we go. He would turn halfway around 180 degrees and he would turn this way to the left. All right, what about LT 360 degrees? Where would my arrow end up? Hopefully you've shouted it out. He would be pointing back up the same way he started and he would have turned around, turning to the left first, all the way around, ending up where he started again. And what about right turn 90? Can you figure out where he would be ending up? Okay, hopefully you've said pointing diagonally up to the right. He would turn just a little bit to the right. Becoming familiar with our number of degrees that we need to turn is going to be really important to getting our coding correct. Because if we accidentally type in 360 degrees and he turns all the way around, but we only wanted him to turn halfway around, it's going to really mess up our code. So today's lesson is all about creating shapes. Okay, so we're going to be using a new type of coding to make shape patterns. So I have a code on the board in front of us that says forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90. Can you figure out what shape that's going to make? Right, let me take a pen and I'm going to start facing my arrow upwards. Which way is he going to go? So he's forward 4 first. He would go up. Oh, that's not a pen. He would go up the screen. Then he would turn to the right and go forward 4. Turn to the right. Which way? It's going to go down now. Forward 4. And turn to the right again. Which way is he going to go? Across. What shape has he made? Although my drawing skills are not that great, hopefully you can see it is in fact a square. So we're going to come over to ToLogo and we're going to see if our prediction, the fact that I drew a square, that we're predicting it's a square, we're going to see if that is right. So I'm going to copy this code. I'm going to come over to ToLogo. I'll show you again in case you don't remember where it is, but you go home, computing, scroll down to ToLogo. It's underneath ToCode. Click on ToLogo and cancel. Wrong thing. Click on ToLogo and launch app. Before I get started at all, I'm going to put on the grid up the top here. I'm going to slow down the movement of my character just so that I can see where the errors are. If he does it too quickly, it's hard to figure out where the errors are. So I'm now going to type in that code FD4 RT90 FD4 RT90 FD4 RT90 FD4 RT90, and I'm going to press play to see if he draws a square. And bingo, we were correct in saying that this code made a square. Now, we're going to go back and have a look at this code again. Forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, blah, 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 blah. Can you spot any particular pattern? Any particular pattern in this code? If you've noticed, or if you look at it carefully, you might see that it's a repeating code. It's got forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90, forward 4, right turn 90. It's actually the same code, just said 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that code, I could actually break it down. All right. So last week we learned about the multi-line writing. So instead of typing it out in one big code, what I could do instead is I could type out forward 4, right turn 90, go on to my second line, and I could repeat that code 4 times. There we go. So I could do it that way. Let me just erase this. Okay. However, today we're going to be starting to look at a new type of coding. So it's a bit boring retyping the same code over and over and over again. All right. It's just not as useful. All right. So instead, we're going to be starting to look at codes like this. All right. So if we come over to the right here, you can see that there is a repeat code, RPT. Right there. So we're going to use this repeat code to draw a square. So if I was going to write this out, repeating this time, what I would write out is RPT, and then I'm going to use one of these, then I'm going to say, sorry, how many times do I want this code to repeat? So 1, 2, 3, 4. This code needs to repeat 4 times. Can anybody say why it needs to repeat 4 times? Well, it needs to repeat 4 times because a square has 4 sides. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. It repeats 4 times because a square has 4 sides. So now that I've got that repeat, I'm going to introduce a brand new type of key that we can do on a keyboard. It looks like this. All right. So you can find that on your keyboard. It's kind of like a bracket, but it's a square shape. All right. It needs to have solid lines. Then I'm going to type in that one bit of code that I want to repeat, which is forward 4. Remember to put the space in between. Right turn space 90. And then I'm going to close that bracket, find the other bracket on the other side. So now instead of having to type out this very long line of code or having to type out the same code 4 times, I can actually just type in repeat 4 and then in brackets forward 4, right turn 90 and press enter. So let's come over to Logo. Let me refresh that screen. And this time I'm going to type in RPT, standing for repeat, space. And then I want to say how many times is it going to repeat? It's going to repeat 4 times, space. Then I'm going to open that bracket and type in the bit of code that I need. Forward space 4 space right turn space 90. And I'm going to close that bracket. And what we're going to do is we're going to press enter and see if it makes a square. Ta-da! So using this short code is much more time efficient than typing out that very long code. So I could just drag my arrow now, click on that code and press enter, and I can draw a pattern of squares. Okay. Now, some people have already started experimenting with the pen up and pen down. You're welcome to. However, that lesson, isn't happening for another few weeks. So I could make another square here. Fantastic. So now that we know how to do that using the repeat code, I'm going to put up some shapes here and you're going to see if you can figure out what it is. Now we've already done the first one. If you have a look at it, it says repeat 4 times. It's going to be forward 6, left turn 90. So in your book or on a piece of paper, you're going to just write out this code, repeat 4, forward 6, left turn 90. Here, you're going to do a prediction. Just try to guess what is it. So if I was going to do that, forward 6 would be forward 6, left turn 90 would go across, forward 6, left turn 90, forward 6, left turn 90. So I predict that it's going to be a shape. I predict it's going to be a square as well. All right. So I predicted that. I'm going to now go on to my next one, which is repeat 3 times, forward 8, right turn 120. Right. If I know that 180 turns halfway around, 120 turns a bit less than that. So maybe it stops here. So go through each of these. Draw your prediction in your book. So you need to pause the video. You're not on TwoLogo yet. You're just in your book or on a piece of paper. Draw what you predict each of these codes is going to look like. When you're ready for the next bit of the activity, come back and press play. All right, now you should have drawn what you predict each of those shapes is going to look like. Now that I've done that, I'm going to take this code here and I'm going to type it into TwoLogo to see what shape it actually makes. So this is repeat 4, forward 6, left turn 90. So let me come across. I'm going to put RPT 4 and then open my special bracket, and it said forward 6, left turn 90. FD space 6 space right turn space 90. Close that bracket. I'm going to bring my arrow over here so he's not in the way, and I'm going to press play and see. Oh, did I type that code in right? I did not. It was meant to be left turn. Let me fix that up. Change that to left turn. Try that one more time. It is very important that you copy the code exactly. All right, perfect. That was a square. We were correct in that. So now it's your turn. I would like you to type in each of these codes one by one and see, were you correct? Did it make the correct shape? If you get stuck, all right, you can come back and press play on this video to see the answers. But pause the video now, type in each of those codes and see if you were correct in what kind of shape it makes. Okie dokie. Hopefully you've had a chance to have a go at those. I'm going to now display the answers. So if you've not had a go on Purple Mash just yet, don't watch. But if you've had a go, here we go. I'm going to show you the answers. So you should have been able to make first a square, next a triangle, third a hexagon, fourth a 10-sided shape. Was that a heptagon? Decagon? Can't actually remember. And third, lastly, you should have actually made a full circle. Okay, so hopefully you've had fun making that. That's the end of our lesson. What we would like you to do, make some patterns using these shapes. Post a photo on Seesaw of us to us so that we can see how you went and what fun you had doing it. And next week we'll be continuing our learning of TwoLogo, and we're going to be looking at making proper patterns. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and I'll see you next week. Bye.